How does Wall Street change over the next 5, 10 years? To pick on one thing, people here have asked about cryptocurrencies. Does that become a real issue or not? Are you worried about them? You've put your toe in the water.
I worry, not really in any kind of systemic way. The people, it'd be very painful for somebody who put his or her entire net worth into cryptocurrencies, but it's not a systemic issue at this point. People are passionate for it, passionate against it. I remember when they came out first with, when they came out with cell phones, I remember thinking, God, who the hell is going to lug this thing around?
Yeah.
And I'm saying, and besides, there's 10 phone booths on every corner. I'm not going to, this is a fad. Nobody's going to carry a cell phone. So I just passed on that whole thing. Turns out to have worked. So now they have cryptocurrency. And I always thought, I can't say why it should work. But if it did work, I'd be able to explain it in hindsight why it did. Because
that has been your secret to success.
Yeah, well, you have to look at things from both sides and say, sometimes in a risk thing, I say, will this happen? What are the chances of it happened? And sometimes I find it easier to think about something, okay, let me postulate, this did happen, tell me why it did. And I find that it's sometimes an easier way of seeing it. And I look at the evolution of money and I say, you start out with gold as money, and people only take hard currency, and you make gold coins, and a gold coin was like $5 if it had $5 of gold, and eventually they would give you a piece of paper with the promise that there was $5 in gold to back the $5 piece of paper, and you could go in and redeem it. Then they gave you a piece of paper and said there's $5 of gold, but you can't redeem it. And at some point they give you a paper and says it's worth $5, we're not going to redeem it, and we don't even have the $5 even if you wanted to. And we're still doing that today, and I see that morphing. And I'm saying that if you could go through that morphing, if you could go through that fiat currency, where they say this is worth what it's worth because the government says it is, why couldn't you have a consensus currency? And so it's not for me, I don't do it, I own no Bitcoin. Yeah. Goldman Sachs, as far as I know, unless nobody told me, has no Bitcoin. But if it does work out, I could give you the historical path why that could happen, have happened. And so I'm not in the school of saying, gee, because it's uncomfortable with me, because it's unfamiliar, this can happen. That's too arrogant.